Hi, it's Jason. Today I'm going to read Chapter 13 from Floki's Army. Chapter 13, Time to Become a Dog. Physically, things were going well. In fact, better than Jason and Paula could have imagined. One day, Jason was getting ready to take Hannah for a walk. He put Floki in his baby pen so that he and the carpet would be safe while they were out. Floki was becoming accustomed to having free range now and also wanted to be a part of whatever was going on. That's when it happened. Floki climbed up on his bed in his pen and started to bark. No one knew he could bark. It wasn't really a bark, it sounded more like a baby seal. "Uck, uck, uck," he said. The boy had something to say for himself. It appeared that he wanted to go with them, or maybe he wanted them to stay. Maybe he realized that he could bark, and he was just testing it out. Whatever the reason, it was the cutest and happiest and saddest thing ever. It went on long enough that Jason was able to video the event. This was truly a gift. One day they both noticed that Floki's tail had curled up. It no longer looked like a broken stick. He now had become the Shih Tzu he was meant to be. Right around this time, Hannah decided it was time for him to learn how to be a Shih Tzu, according to her rules. Floki's sense of smell didn't work very well, which quite often resulted in him running into Hannah, unaware of her presence. Right around the time that his tail went up, Hannah decided enough was enough. Now, if Floki ran into her, she would bark at him. At first he was a little scared, but he began to understand quickly. Apparently Hannah decided that if he were going to be staying, he needed to learn the rules. The lessons would continue. Every day it seemed there was something that made them smile. Hannah had always given them great joy, and now both dogs did. One day Jason called out to the two, "Hannah, Floki, we're going for a walk." Hannah came quickly while Floki stalled in the hallway. It seemed that sounds must have echoed a little in the hallway, and it threw Floki off. As he stood there waiting for more cues, Hannah walked down the hallway toward him and brushed against him with her fur. She then turned around and led him back to the door. It was one of the most beautiful moments they had ever seen. Not long ago, Hannah wanted this boy gone. Now look at her. Hannah had always allowed Floki in the family bed, even from the beginning. Paula and Jason made sure that he didn't run into her. That could be disastrous. Even as his house training improved, they didn't let him sleep in the bed with them. If he were to wander after they had fallen asleep, he could fall and get seriously injured. It was impossible to forget how fragile his state was. Each time they picked him up, they could feel his body cracking. It was like his spine and his joints were crunching or popping. It almost seemed that an apology was in order. If he were to fall 2.5 feet from the bed to the floor, he would break something that may not mend. He was happy to sleep on the floor, either on Paula's side of the bed or Jason's. They liked to keep him close so they could touch him and remind him that they were right there. There was no official house training program in place. It was currently just trying to read Floki's intention and get him outside as quickly as possible. He was an old dude, and when it was time to go, it was time to go. No one kept track, but they were probably successful 50% of the times at first. They did notice that on occasion, when they missed the signs, or were in the bathroom or on the phone, he started having his accidents either at the back door or the front door. He seemed to be house training himself. What a smart boy. He had quickly learned the layout of the main floor of their home, even though he likely had never had anything larger than a small cage to navigate. Being around him could be quite humbling at times. End of chapter 13. Thank you.